I'm Christy Hartman. Welcome back to my channel. I have a new stencil from pmartiststudio, and this is called Indian Paintbrush Special. What I did is I took my original Indian paintbrush, which looks like this, and I changed it so that the heads of the flowers are all intermixed as if you're in a meadow of Indian paintbrushes. These two are going to work really well together. My goal is to use this stencil in conjunction with this stencil. I want this to have mostly neutral earth tones, and there is a reason for that, and you will find out probably in an upcoming video. So we're going to do a long haul, and we're going to start out with carbon black. And for those of you that aren't familiar with a long haul, just in case you're new to my channel, a long haul is where you place your stencil on your gel plate, you leave it there throughout the entire printing session, and what happens to these prints is that they begin to pull the paint off of the stencil itself. This is the beauty of using a U-post stencil for this type of print. A Mylar stencil doesn't work quite as well. So let's get started. Let's use carbon black. We're going to use Carnival Wet Strength Tissue paper, which is my preferred paper when I'm doing a long haul. And you can see that there's quite a bit of black left on my plate. So the next color I'm going to use is micaceous iron oxide, which will pull up some more of this black, but it will also leave a little bit of texture on the plate. I'm going to try to get one more print off of it. What a long haul does is as you pull each layer that you apply to your stencil, your wet strength tissue paper, and the wet strength tissue paper gets down into the nooks and crannies of a stencil better than, say, a printing paper, and that's why I use it. Okay, this was Van Dyke Brown. I don't think I mentioned that. And what we want to see is we want to see the buildup of layers into our stencil, and then our final pull will be the outline of this stencil. I think we'll go for some transparent red iron oxide next. You can see where you're pulling up your paint. That's another reason to use tissue. And the wet strength is just stronger. Ooh, that's pretty. I love that. I love the red iron oxide on it. And let's go with Quin Nico Azo Gold. If you don't very pretty. I have been super excited to use this stencil since I designed it earlier this winter, actually. This is anthraquinone. It almost gets a green, bluish green. Prussian. Go Prussian next. Okay, now we're starting to pull up some of the paint off of the stencils. You can see the black that's coming up onto the actual flowers, and you can see where some of that paint has disappeared on the stencil itself. Let's do Payne's Gray. Very similar to the anthraquinone. Still picking up little bits of black. Let's go back to transparent red iron oxide. I can check to see how my buildup of layers is going, and it's going very well. Because I can see when I pull up that side of my stencil, I can see underneath and see where the outline is showing up. So let's try a little bit of this. Very nice. We're going to try using raw sienna in the open. It's my hope that this open will pull up a little bit more of what's on the stencil. All that blue and black. That's my hope. We'll see if it works. Well, that didn't work out quite like I'd hoped. I did pull up a little bit of the black and the blue. So I'm going to use my Payne's Gray in the open. I get asked frequently why I choose the stencils that I do. Usually it's a design plan. This time I have a project in mind that I want to work on using these prints. Let's see if we can get one more print off of this. Ooh, that's interesting. I like that. That is super light. I'm going to try this transparent red iron oxide. That's a gorgeous print. I love that. You might also be saying, why would I have mixed open paints with fluid acrylics? I actually really like to mix open paints with fluid acrylics because, first of all, it gives you a longer working time for your fluids. But secondly, the way that the open stays open longer gives you some very, very interesting effects when you are doing a long haul because those previous layers interact with the subsequent layer. Oh my gosh, look at that. I love that. I wonder what will happen if I use a little bit of interference blue over the top of this. Let's just try it and see. Oh wow, look at that. That is incredible. Let's use this interference one more time. Okay, got some more up on it. It's very subtle. This is bone black in the open line. It's a very transparent, translucent color. All right, let's see what this does. Again, kind of interesting. Let's go back to Prussian. Yeah, that printed up really nicely. I want to try the Prussian in the open line. Your open paints have a little more translucency than some of your fluid acrylics, just because they have more medium in them. But remember, golden are so highly pigmented that you're always going to get great color out of any of the lines of their paints. Let's see if we can pull up another print off of this. Sometimes I can when I use open. Now we're going to go back to the transparent red iron oxide. Now I want to go back to the interference. Ooh, another interesting print. All right, I think we have enough paint on here. I'm going to pull this stencil off. And once I pull the stencil off, you can see what the long haul does is it leaves the outline of the stencil. And this will have to sit and dry. Let's pull this print with Titan Buff. Let's pull this on just a piece of printmaking paper. And then, of course, go over the top of it with my Baron. I don't usually talk about my Baron, but this is my Baron, which was made for me by a family member. And it's made out of ironwood. And it's very smooth on the bottom, fits my hand perfectly. It's good and heavy, so you get a good stomp. Okay, let's see. But we'll see. We'll pull it, and we'll see. And let's pull this print. This one isn't pulling up very well. Okay, now I love this. That turned out exactly as I was hoping it would turn out. This is my other Indian Paintbrush stencil. This is the 9 by 12 inch size. And it will fit brilliantly on this. This is a 9 by 11 inch plate, but it'll fit brilliantly on your 9 by 12 inch plate, or a 12 by 12. Or you can put it on an 8 by 10 too, it wouldn't hurt. Now for this one, I'm going to use different colors than I did the last. For the last one I used mostly blues, reddish browns, and a little bit of black. I'm still going to use a little bit of black, but this time I'm going to add, I think, more reds, purples, and magentas to the mix. So let's start out with carbon black. I am going to try this azurite, and this is just a heavy body golden. Let's try this one, Phthalo Blue Red shade. Oh my goodness, that's gorgeous. Let's go Quin Violet. Let's go Quin Magenta. Oh my gosh, look at that. That's beautiful. Let's use Pyrrole Red. Looks pretty good. Now let's try, this is Amsterdam's Pearl Red. Let's try this. It's very light, very faint. Let's go back to this Pyrrole Orange. I like that. Okay. So this time we're going to use Phthalo Blue red shade. We're going to brayer it on here, and we're going to remove some of the paint. So we're going to use this piece of Fun Foam, which has this pattern on it. And we're just going to lay it into the background. Take off some of that paint. Let me turn this over and see what we've got. Yeah, I think that will. Let's pull this up. And let's let that dry. So let's try the Pyrrole Red Dark. Let's pull this print. I don't absolutely love it, but it's okay. I might be able to do something to it to make it more interesting. Put another layer over the top of it. Most of these prints you saw during the course of printing them. But I thought we'd just do a quick flip through of some of the ones that I really, really loved. I love this one. I think this one is just spectacular. I don't know if it shows up well on the camera, but off camera it just is amazing with all the little black bits that's in it. This one I love the detail that I achieved. Love this one. This one I liked a lot too. In fact, some areas I thought didn't print real well, but the rest of it I thought was exceptional. I love this one. This is another that I just love. I think this was using the interference glue. This one I think is outstanding. And then of course we have the orange from the individual paintbrush. And the magenta, which both of these turned out really well. Then we have this one, which now that I look at it again, at first I didn't really care for it, but I think it has a lot of potential, and I think I will do something extra to this one, and then I think it will be very, very interesting. This one turned out exactly as I had hoped. The outline was perfect. I would have liked to have seen a little bit more blue down in these areas, but I could always go back in and add that if I decide that I need that. Thank you for joining me. Hope you enjoyed this video. I'm doing a little bit longer videos than normal, and I'm curious what you think. So leave me a comment. Let me know what you think of these longer videos. Do you like more fast forwarding? Do you like them shorter? Just let me know. It's always good for me to get some feedback from all of you. So leave me a comment, like, subscribe. Definitely give me those thumbsy upsies. I need the thumbs ups to get on the algorithm for YouTube, and so I would really appreciate you doing that. I'll see you in my next video.